Hello and welcome back, Josh, Sam, and anyone else who's watching us here today. Welcome back to Swindon't You Forget About Me. Now, it's been a little while. For once, I actually had a chance to play a few games without too much interference of recording, and that did not go well for us. We beat West Ham 3-1. We then found the draw for our Europa League group, which was against Dortmund, Dundee, and Vidjev. Now, we've played two games here. You can see we've actually played three games, sorry. Two wins for us against Dundee and Vidjev, and a 0-0 draw away in Dortmund with the first half of the Europa League group campaign. That game against Dortmund was 1-1. We scored an own goal. We were the better team, but they equalised right at the death. We then followed that up with a shitty 1-0 loss in the League Cup to Southampton, before losing 3-1 away at Leicester, a hat-trick from Jacquemin, the player who always seems to score against us, really doing us in. We then played, our second game in the Europa League. We beat Vidjev 2-0, Becken and Pelletier scoring. Pelletier, the rare goal scorer, but at least he got one. We then played Arsenal, where we went 1-0 up through Alberto before conceding two kind of late, it was the second half goals where we went down to them, but that's not surprising. They're the champions of the Premier League. They are a good team. We then had a frustrating 2-2 draw with Liverpool. They were 17th at the beginning of play that day. We went 1-0 down. We came back. Yuri Petr scoring his first goal for the club, and then Wilmot scoring an 87th minute header, which made me think we've done it again, only for Gary Miles to come back and equalise in the last minute. It's always a fun game when Swindon play against Liverpool. We then welcome back last season's semi-finalists of the Europa League, Dundee United, to the county ground, where we smashed them 3-0. And then we just followed that up with a 2-3 loss away at West Brom. We scored first. They then scored three. Not even true. We scored first. They then went ahead, 2 goals in 2 minutes. Musa Falls equalised just after half-time. And then this Ribeiro scored an absolute stunner to win the game for them. So that leaves us in... Oh, there's some strange things going on here. What's happening? Lots of things have happened. What's going on? There we are. We're in 8th, and we're not even that far. We're not... If we win this game against Bradford... Okay, so we've got one game in hand, right? Who's that against? Southampton. Well, we've already lost against them. So if we win our game in hand, we would be above Bradford in 7th. If we beat Bradford today and then win our game in hand, obviously we'll move on and whatever. So it's not been a great season so far. We've been struggling for goals, mainly because a lot of our players have been injured here, there, and everywhere as things go. But I thought we'd sort of take stock, play a Premier League game, which we should have a challenge. We should have a chance of winning, and then we'll play the next game against Dundee, because I know everyone loves playing against Dundee. So let's do it. Here we go then. Man City beat Leicester 2-1. That's good for our top 6 chances. I really thought we'd be doing better this season, but Wilmot has not been in great form. Padilla has been injured almost exclusively. And our defence just can't seem to get it right. Riedel has forced his way back into the team just through good performances, basically. It's quite sad that our new signings are not stepping up as much as I thought they might be able to. Gilic can come on into the bench area. Branfilov's been playing very well, got to say that. Fall has also done well. Saeed, I think he's got a deceptively high rating. He has only scored twice and he hasn't got that many assists, so I don't know quite why he's playing so well in terms of average rating at least. And the hole left by Gavin Blackler when he left last season is noticeable. Now, I did nearly sign an Australian-German player to fill that gap, but he's absolutely sensational. He plays for Schalke. Unfortunately, the price tag on him is £21 million, and we can't afford that. So unless we sell some players during January to fund his signing, he's unlikely to come in until at least next summer. But who knows? Wilmot, oh come on, we haven't won in 4 games in the league. It's pretty poor. We've been on a very bad run of form. I'm not sure exactly what has caused it, other than just sort of individuals having poor games here and there. Yeah. Anyway, Fall, he's been on good form recently. That's nice. And yeah, we've not even really played anyone particularly good. I mean, like I said, Liverpool are poor this season, so to have drawn with them, although it was away, is not a great result. Whereas Southampton are okay this season, but yeah, we've just not been able to string a run of good form together, and that's frustrating. Like with the Europa League games, we seem to be at a general level above most of the teams. I think Dortmund, probably the hardest team we've faced in Europe, except for Chelsea in the final last season. So, those are games that are kind of a bit of a let-off for us, if I'm honest. I was very disappointed to go out in the of the League Cup, because I always see that as a good opportunity. We're still searching for our first bit of silverware as Swindon Town manager, at least since I started recording, because I did win the Johnson's Paint Trophy, as I keep mentioning, because it's the biggest trophy we've currently won. Although, I don't know, maybe the League 2 title is more prestigious, but I think they're much of a muchness. Now, we started off doing very well. They have now come into things a little bit more. Wormger, great name. Now, I would expect Saeed to be running up the wing, skilling past everybody, and then basically being Mo Salah, but on the left wing. And he's not. He doesn't seem to be great at crossing. I never actually checked what his crossing stat is. But he doesn't get as many assists as I'd like. He's not as sort of influential as you'd like. Got to say, Fall is coming into... Oh, my God. So, dear Talbot into the arms of Aksoy. Aksoy's been a good goalkeeper, and he briefly had an injury. I very nearly recorded the first game against... Branfilov. Against Dortmund, because we had an injury to Dursun Aksoy, and I was suddenly fearful that I wasn't going to be able to play any goalkeepers again, and I thought it was going to be a horrible echo of last season. But as it turns out, we were fine, because as I think I actually mentioned on one of the videos, Rui Costa, the goalkeeper who we have... Oh, Jair, come on! The lack of heading from corners is very poor. The other goalkeeper we have, our sort of second choice goalkeeper, has now been at the club long enough that he qualifies for the under-21s registration rule. So he played very well. I think he got something like an 8.2 rating against Dortmund, which is quite impressive considering I don't think he had that much to do. Where he got that rating from, I don't know, but he did. He got man of the match. It's not often that a goalkeeper of my team gets man of the match. Laveau over to Fall. Fall to Laveau. Big ball out to Saeed. Doesn't get that. Felipe, Riedel and Jair nicely moved across there. Saeed. Mauro Gomes. One thought that does come to mind is that people were interested in Felipe as quite an expensive signing. So if we could ship him out in January for say 20 million, or going close to 20 million, and then bring in that other lad for 20 million, that would be a very good swap, because we still have 10 or so million in the bank. We can afford to not sell him for 20 and then still spend 20 on whoever comes in. So, potential. Right, someone's looking really up for the game. That's very nice. Branfilov to Riedel, out to Jair. Jair I dropped for poor form reasons. I would have dropped Saeed for poor form reasons, but Novotny has been beset by injury. Every time, I think he's made one appearance, maybe two, this season, which is very disappointing. Oh God! Speaking of disappointing, our performance here is not very. And so we've also had issues with our strikers. So I'm going to actually bring Petr on again, because he is a good creative presence in that midfield. We've also had problems. So, like I said, Padilla has been injured for most of the season so far. He started the first couple of games and was poor, as I think I highlighted in the video or two at the beginning of the season. And then the other guy, the Polish youngster, we had a little bit of a falling out because he made his debut for Poland and scored. and then his agent requested a new contract for him, even though he's only just joined. I said no. He got concerned about wanting to have a new contract, and then the week after, because I just ignored that, because it can only go badly, the week after, he then came to me and said he was upset and not happy about living in England, so he went on a stay. I was nearly said stay of execution, but he actually just went on vacation. So cross Pet, why on earth he'd be going up for a header? So he's away. Kuzmies, he's away on holiday. So we signed a bunch of players, and none of them are actually playing. All the ones that are playing are not playing well, and so they've been superseded by the guys from last season. Wilmot, we need a better goalkeeper scorer. Padilla was supposed to be that man. Wilmot did score against Liverpool, though. That was a good finish. To be fair. Riedel up to Wilmot, no. Felipe gives it to Saeed. Oh, there you go. That's what you want to see more of. He doesn't do that enough. Great play. Come on, people. Right. Becken is going to come on for Alberto, and we're going to put Shehu on for Fall, who has played a lot of games recently. Got a little bit of a frog in my throat. These are things. Oh, Jair! I genuinely don't know what is expected, why they can't do it. That's a great name. Echenike. Saeed doesn't get their Bowers, doesn't get their mashes on the phone. Shehu heads wide. Pathetic. 0-0 at home to Bradford is not an acceptable result. We are in danger of losing our top half position. Keown. Keown. I'm not going to show it. I've been watching other Football Manager YouTubers, or I say us, I mean one YouTuber, a guy called Dr. Benji FM, who's got the same name as me and almost the same birthday as me, and fuck. Yeah. Anyway, and he obviously. Oh yes, Pet to Becken. Oh, come on, Pet's gonna. He can't start. He's not registered for the Europa League, for fuck's sake. He's a much better YouTuber, much bigger YouTuber. He has got more than 3 subscribers, so well done him. But can't remember what I was going to say. Bugger, I've forgotten completely. That goal has taken it out of me. 1-0, a 1-0 home win with a 91st minute winner, or was it 89th minute winner? Oh, Becken again. He's been fouled. It's a free kick. Who's going to take it? Stepping up, number 10. Saeed is going to take it. This is the other thing. You'd think he'd be great at this. Saeed, great free kick. Doesn't go in, though. Pathetic. There's a free kick up to Riedel. Diaz has fouled, and that's surely all she wrote at this point. Riedel's free kick, all that's left in this game. Go on, take it. Wasting time. Lovely stuff. Excellent stuff. Yeah, we go. We've got a win. That's our first win in 5 games. We managed to sneak a victory. I think we're going to have to start with Becken in our next game because he is scoring a decent number of goals. That puts us up to 7th. We've still got a game in hand, which means we could be back bothering 5th place, not too short a time. If we want to break into that top 4, we're going to have to stop losing and dropping points in these kind of games. But otherwise, yeah. Okay, so now we've got to play Dundee. Dundee, I put these 2 games together because I thought it's going to be the chance to watch us actually. Oh my goodness me, Arsenal lost to Wolves. Nice, okay, good. Not that it matters to us, we're not in the title chat, but you never know if they all start knocking points off each other and we can just edge in there. Compton. What was I going to say? In the back of my head, I'm desperately trying to remember why I mentioned the other YouTubers, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it was that I wanted to talk about. Oh well. Hull Swansea, not bad. This player, I'm going to have to find this player for you because Sam in particular will want to know what he looks like. Now, how would I go about doing that? He'd be in my... See, I've played this game bloody loads and I can never remember how to find anyone. Right, he plays for... Is he gone? It's not him. Where is he? This guy, Schalke, Adam Monroe. He's insane. He's absolutely, genuinely, insanely good. 22.5 million. I could make a bid for him if we got rid of, because I think if I go make an offer, we have £10 million. Liverpool want him, so I need to try and get him before that. Let's go to the squad and just try something cheeky. Let's go Felipe. Offer to clubs for 15 million, because Manchester United want Felipe. Now, let's see what we can do there. Okay, I think I bet he's got a bloody minimum fee release, meaning that we won't be able to get that much for him. But if we can get the other fella in, because Munro is genuinely, like, sensationally good, if we can get him in, I don't care about paying a lot of money for him, then that will really, really sort of fill the one gap we seem to have left in the squad. Now, the one thing that these other Dr. Benja FM and all these other YouTubers do is they cut out this section here. They have success and we don't, Sam, so I don't know whether or not that means that they're doing things right. They also have a video recording of their faces as they do the games. It's not something that I'm planning to do because I don't have the technical skills to edit that together, nor the camera required to film my face. So, goal of the month. We got second in goal of the month last season. Oh, Gary Miles' goal against Swindon obviously makes it in there. That's a shame. I hate when it's one of the most frustrating things in the world, I think, is when your team concedes one of the goals of the month. It's just super upsetting. Dear. Scunthorpe needs a win. We've got the board. They're not happy with our defeat to Southampton, but they're generally happy overall. Good. Offers have been made for fairly ambitious Felipe. Burnley offering us 7 million. No. You fucking idiots. No, you absolute madmen. Few offers. No, it's not good enough. If you come back to me with a better offer, I will sell him to you because I need the money for a better player. Why don't they just go in for Adam Monroe? I even asked the board for more money. I said to them, guys, he's great. And they were like, oh, we just can't find the money. I was like, we're rich. We're literally called a rich club. But apparently, being the mighty Ben Wheatland manager does nothing for this board, who are fairly tight-pocketed. They give us a decent amount of money each year. I remember one time, I think it was on Foot Manager 10, I was Swindon and I got them to the Premier League, but I continually got given a transfer budget of about £6 million every season. So I had to sign everybody on freeze, and I think I spent about 4 years just about avoiding relegation every season. It was very boring. I'm confident against these mugs. Let's say Wilmot. That one, my attitude, good. Okay. Wheatland talks at Wilmot. So he's only got 3 goals this season. We sold Roy. Maybe it was wrong. Maybe we should have sold Wilmot. The one problem with doing, because he's the only other player I could sell for enough money to raise funds for that Monroe chap, because I think I could probably sell Wilmot for 11 to 15 million. But Padilla, the guy I brought in ostensibly to replace Roy, needs to be not constantly dead. Otherwise, we can't do anything. It doesn't really make sense. Oh, look, the first league. Oh, I wanted to also mention Neman Mosti got relegated about 8 games ago. They've got 1 win all season, no draws, 28 losses. It's pretty poor. Last season, the worst team only got 2 wins. So that's fair enough, I suppose. But Neman Mosti, were they even in the league last season? No, they must have just been promoted. I think, in fact, they're the team who have the completely glitched league history. Yes, they apparently between the years 0 and -1 have never played in the Belarusian top division, which makes you wonder about the chroniclers of Belarus and what's happening there. Anyway, let's take on our friends Dundee. If we can have a draw for the other 2 teams, they drew in the last round of games, then that would be good for us. Let's see what we can do here in terms of blooding some youngsters. Maybe Costa can play in goal. Let's start backing up front instead of Alberto. And we still have an injury to Novotny, who's also ineligible because I'm stupid. We'll put Jonathan in and we'll put that there. Maybe even start Jonathan, give him a little start, because we've got to play Man United in a couple of games, which is just brilliant. Great for building momentum, is playing the big teams over and over again. Philip McGuinness in goal. He was rubbish last time round. We've obviously made the trip back up to Tannadice. Oh, Abdel Said has switched off. He's obviously not happy about having to play cruddy little teams like Dundee. Come at me. Why are we playing in black? We could play in red. They play in literally orange and black. Why are we playing in black? Why don't we just play in red and white like we normally do? Fall to Felipe, Jonathan. Felipe. Wilmot hits wide. Wilmot, I'm trying to keep Wilmot in the first team, trying to get him to play his way into into form rather. I don't know. Now then, the interesting thing for us really is what happens in this Dortmund-Vijev game. It looks like Dortmund are already winning in that game, based on the points. Excuse me. No, it's 0-0. Okay, so who the hell have they played else then? They've beaten... Dortmund have already beaten Dundee, I think. It's hard to tell, actually, what's gone on there. How they're quite so high, considering I don't think they'd actually... want to go. Good stop. Unless they nicked a winner in the last minute of the last game. Anyway, Wilmot now running through. Wilmot. Branfilov scores. It's a rare goal for Branfilov. I don't know what I'm talking about because Dortmund beat Dundee whilst we played Vijev, so I don't know why I was confused about the goals there. Anyway, it looks like Dortmund have now taken the lead against Vijev. Looks like they are 3-0 up against Vijev, actually. Yes, they are. Schlausk are losing to Sturm Graz. That would never have happened under my tutelage. I was kind of hoping that they'd go through so we could play them in the next round, but it doesn't look like they're going to go through. They're a fairly poor team. Although they have recovered a bit in the Extraklasse. They are now second, just slightly behind Łódź, the team who are in... Oh, lovely football. Said finally making his quality count. Becken taps home. We are 2-0 up after 18 minutes. That pretty much guarantees that we're going to be qualifying from this group. In fact, it might actually qualify. It might actually guarantee it if we stay like we are. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, last season I don't think I mentioned it, but we became the highest scoring team in the Europa League in a single season in Europa League history, beating the record. Oh, Wilmot, yes please, beating the record of one Western-super-Mare. Who previously held that record for, I think, nearly 30 years. But then Swindon't, free-scoring Swindon't in the Europa League last season, waltzed to the final. Of course, we then lost the final 3-0, but it doesn't matter. We've got a goal for Wilmot. That's good to see. Becken continues his good recent form. That's also good to see. And Said has got some assists, which is good to see as well. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. Branfilov to Becken. Oh God! I wanted to let that play out in silence. I could see what he was trying to do. Yeah, lovely stuff. We are pinning them back. I'm not quite sure how Dundee keep getting into Europe. They were awful last season. How they got to the semi-finals is beyond me. A great ball to fall. He was, I was going to say, quite a long way offside. How Dundee got to the semi-finals of the Europa League last season, I have no idea. I thought that our humbling of them might sort of make them think twice before coming back to Europe, but seems like no, they need some more battering. So here we go again. No, I thought we were going to get another one. Said to Becken has a shot straight away. It's good during these group stages. It's good to sort of intersperse our league games where we struggle a little bit more with these easier games, because I think it helps bring the morale back up. If we get tonked by United in a couple of games' time or in the next game, it's all right. We'll just play Vijev Łódź in Swindon and we'll batter them, and it's fine. We haven't even had a tough game like the 1-1 with Dortmund was tough, obviously, but I still thought we didn't look like we weren't outclassed by them, and that was good. And the fact that we scored first and then only let in a goal thanks to an absolute stunner. tells me that we're probably going to be able to go far in this year's competition as well, assuming we get a decent draw again. I mean, if we get drawn against Chelsea in one of the early rounds, which I think we could do because I do believe they've dropped into the Europa League, that could be tough, but we'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it, I guess. Eventually, we'll be able to beat one of these big teams over 2 legs. I mean, we can't lose to them every single time we play one of our big Premier League teams. In fact, I think Arsenal are the only team that we don't really seem to beat ever. Like we've beaten everyone else. I think Liverpool, they seem to go down to us quite easily now. I mean, they are a bit less of a big team in the current climate. Beckham, what are you going to do with it? Crosses. Nobody was there though. We need a player of the ilk of Mads Pedersen or Georgie Cunningham, or if Sam remembers the name, Maravilla, the Belgian super striker who I had for a previous Notts County team, who scored something like 600 league goals for Notts County. Those are the days. We need a player like him. Anyway, but right now we're stuck with Wilmot, who is tackled by a Garden. It is what it is. Rennie still going at the age of, must be about 39 now. O'Brien, no, rubbish. Okay. So we're pretty confident that we're going to go through here. Let's give some of our lesser seen stars a game. Oh, we've got very many of them. Take Riedel off for Serapio, get him some confidence back. Let's take off Fall again. Give Shehu a decent bit of time to play on the right. I like Shehu. He's not the best player in the world, not by a long spot, but I like him. He's been with us since we came into the Premier League. He's been a big part of Swindon's recent development and transition into a sensational team. Wilmot must score here. No, very, very poor. I mean, he was offside anyway, so fine, but poor finish. Now, Shehu now. What's he going to do? Go on, there was 2 or 3 chances there where you could have slipped it through. And now Felipe, ponderously, oh God, uselessly. More like, hi. Gillett can come on now for Branfilov. We're going to hopefully need Branfilov for the Manchester United match. Shehu's been booked. Wants to get himself involved. That's nice to see. Now then, they've got a corner. We seem to have let off a little bit. That's not what I like to see. We're absolutely dominant though in terms of chances. Well, I mean, we've put away the chances. That's the point, really, isn't it? And clinicalness not being a attribute usually assigned to Swindon Town in this game. We are not clinical usually. Wilmot though scores again. Lovely stuff. 4-0. Hopefully this can spur him on to scoring a few more goals in the league, because he's a good goal scorer for us. But he's patchy, and that's upsetting. 4-0 away from home. That must almost certainly guarantees us our position. Yeah, Dortmund are now 4 up against Vooge. Where is that result? I've gone past it twice probably now. Schlamsk still losing. Dortmund have scored 4. Vijev did at least score. Wilmot could have had a hat-trick. You see, he's in this game, he scored 2 and he's still got poor finishing. Rubbish. Who else is big in this tie? So Milan. Wow, okay. Benfica, I would have said, are big. Juventus are in the competition this year. That's a tough team to beat. Both those teams we beat on the way to the final last year, so we should be fine against them. Cardiff, yet again in the Europa League. They're Spurs. That's one of the teams that we need to worry about. Hopefully, I don't know. Can you draw a team from your country in the next round? I think it might be that they keep you apart until the quarterfinals. Not really sure, to be perfectly honest. I'm pretty sure that's how it works in the Champions League. They keep you apart in the first couple of knockout rounds or something like that. I'm not really sure. Anyway, Cornelissen. Go on, get out to it. McDyde. I wouldn't say they've pinned us back, but they've certainly stepped up a little bit, a couple of yards across the pitch. Great ball up to Wilmot. Wilmot for the hat-trick. Misses. The goal that West Brom scored to win against us was ridiculous. So they got this striker with little to no skill, Ball comes through to him. Defending wasn't great. We let him be kind of free, and he just lifted the ball gently over the goalkeeper, just gently, and it landed like on the line. So he literally just did it so that he couldn't touch it, and it went over. It's ridiculous. It's a great finish, but I mean, come on, mate. You play for West Brom. What are you doing? Hamilton now. Oh, they've scored. Was that an own goal? No, Alex Rennie. Of course it was. The ageing, steam-powered Alex Rennie manages to put put the ball into the back of the net. Dundee United have, what's that? Their third goal of their Europa League campaign, group stages at least. Well done to them, I suppose. But worryingly for them, I guess, we have had a highlight straight from kickoff. Becken, great touch to go past Stone. Doesn't have the pace to continue on past Stone, but whatever. And he wastes the chance eventually. I wouldn't say that goal from Rennie really sort of gives them any kind of revenge for the absolute nobblings we gave them last season, or in fact either of the nobblings we've given them this season. The record for Swindon versus Dundee in competitive fixtures must be something like played 4, 1-4, scored over, closing in on 20, conceded something like 3. So yeah, I just keep your heads down, Dundee United fans in 2050. Because if you could be relegated out of Europe, you would be, because you've been dreadful. O'Brien, Rennie. Oh, Rennie, could he get another? No, he couldn't. Costa, good save. He's not done too much. Not had too much to do. He's not done too much wrong. I think the goal was more of a defensive error than a goalkeeping error. Oh, fucking hell, Becken, Jesus. I mean, come on. There we go. Felipe, great ball over to Shehu, to Becken. Great ball through. Wilmot, Saeed, terrible effort. So there's a nice little bit of football there to end the game. Terrible finishing, unfortunately, but whatever. Oh, great goal kick. Nearly goes out for a throw-in. Gardner over to Borgo, who clears. Cornelison goes back to McKinnon. And they're basically just wasting time until their inevitable demise. That surely means, this result surely means that we have qualified for the knockout stages even before. I think we've still got 2 games left of the group, and yet we've qualified already. That's very, very good. Or if we haven't, we're on the brink of qualification. I'm pretty sure we have, though. They've only got 2 games left, and Dundee cannot get ahead of us. So, yes, we have. We've qualified for the knockout round already. 2 games in hand. That's very, very nice. So, that's the 2 games that I'm going to show you today. What I think I'll do is I'll come back when we play the knockout legs. So that will be around about here, I think, because there'll be in that week, in the middle of there'll be a third round FA Cup game, and then we will play the Europa League knockouts. So I'll see you then, guys. Until then, we have a lot of tough games. Well, we have Man United, then we have three winnable league games, then Dortmund Spurs, which will be a tough couple of games, but there's nothing really riding on them, so we'll just see what we can do there. I'm not going to record it. Hull and Vijev, and then, yeah, like I said, it's going to be a tough little run, but we have got quite a few winnable league fixtures, so we could be in a better position in the Premier League when you see us next. I hope that we'll be up and around 3rd or 4th, but who knows. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.